In the starting position, we are down not just a full knight, also 2 pawns. On top of that, white has a bishop looking down at our king, is threatening to play e7 with a discovered check and a checkmate to follow very, very shortly. So it is clear that we have to look at the enemy king. The enemy king looks quite open and is fairly restricted. It only has one safe square on h1 as our knight covers f1 and the pawn covers h2 and f2. So of course we want to look for checks here, and I would say the first move of the solution is a fairly obvious one. It is bishop d4. There were not too many other checks to look at anyway. There was knight f3, but first of all, remember the knight was doing an important job covering an escape square, and also white can simply give up the queen here. And if we were to recapture, here comes e7 that I was talking about. We are in check. White is threatening all sorts. It is especially threatening to just take on the 8, and this is mate into to follow here after, let's say, bishop d5. Here comes the new queen, and here comes the mate. It's only one of many possible mates, but yes, after knight f3, queen takes f3. This is a forced checkmate against us, not what we want to see. So let's return to the winning move, bishop d4 check. Now it is obvious the king has to step into the corner. After the only other legal move, knight f2, we can choose the way in which we want to checkmate here. I always like to checkmate with a pawn personally, but bishop takes f2 is also checkmate, as is queen h2. So we can pick white's poison here. So after bishop d4 check, the king goes into the corner, and this is the critical moment. In general, when we're looking for a checkmate attack, we want to continue checking, but the problem is we don't have too many checks at our disposal. In fact, the only check here is queen takes h3, and queen takes h3 would be very good if it wasn't for the pesky queen on b7 defending the pawn on f3, which means that after bishop takes, once again the queen comes back to sacrifice itself, and we are the ones getting checkmated in just a few moves. So we need to take a moment to think here after king h1. Well, if we don't have a check, and our main concern is still e7, but maybe we will notice that after bishop takes h3, suddenly e7 is no longer checkmating us, because now we can meet this check with a discovered checkmate. By dropping the bishop back to e7, we have unleashed the queen from h4. The king has nowhere to go. There is no way to block the check. So bishop e6 is actually checkmate. I'm not sure I've ever seen a tactic like this before, where a check is met by not only a counter check, but by a checkmate.